from Steam, and I was just looking for, just horror games to play on my channel, and this one seemed interesting, so, yeah. It's like a novel horror game, I think. I've only played like a couple minutes of it, so, yeah. Let's get into it. Tiny Bunny. Okay. It's like one of those novel horror games, I think. I don't know if I already said that, but the wind clawed at my window all night long. What was that? I did something. I did something. Hold on. Hold on. So yeah, here we go. Let's do new game. Let's try this again, okay? So don't press that, unless you want to fast forward everything. The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves. There was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swayed in the wind, couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. That's a raccoon. Y'all see that? Okay. Hey, put away your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. Okay, mother, chill. Hello. Oh. Hide. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan Barbarian aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Okay. Alia had already finished her breakfast. It was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic, she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. Hazy, anxious welled up inside. All because of previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Costia Odyssey. I love that show. Okay. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Or, how could the black forest is at night? I said could instead of cold. The spoon fell into my hand. I can see that. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. I think those are black. What did I say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this on the other side? Karina? Ha, that's my mom's name. I guess she carved it out with something pointing when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging at the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? No. She's been in a bit of a bad mood lately. I imagine her being my age sitting under this table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or the sounds that came from the attic? Or the thick forest? I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of the bed where Alia sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Taiga is this... Taiga, I think that's it. Taiga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. Okay, Grandma? If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you in time of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, It'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. Okay, Grandma. What? Grandma, calm down. And that would be it. Grandma was Karen. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams until late at night without smashed dishes and mutual accusations. Our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening to one of their conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet, patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat-colored materials on the inside. I saw when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all of its photos were gone. Glass covered went pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Alia was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly wooden critter. I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There was a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass. Oh yeah, look, it's a fox. Okay, whatever. I thought it was a raccoon, but whatever. Where? It looked almost like the optical illusions thingies they put on the back of the student notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit and look under a certain angle. No, outside, on the window. Look, here's the nose, and there's... Hey, eat up! Okay, Mom. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is! But it doesn't look like one. And I'm telling you it does. Nuh-uh. It does. Stop it, these kids, I swear. I know, Mom, right? Now I couldn't see the fox either. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty pattern similar to stretched out nettle leaves kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. Oh, Dad, you look jacked. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up. Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off. It stings." This was long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors with witty comebacks were an everyday occurrence. Alia always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point of it in all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. Divorce. Divorce. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl in my window. You and your owl talk again? You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anybody ever seen my... Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father too, and still... Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the back seat near the phone. The mother needs to calm down. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a martyr out of yourself and finish eating already. And the owl? There was no owl. But there was one. It had a giant glowing eyes. Alia sprang up from her chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had Baba in your closet, and now this owl? But I saw it. Alia shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Alia pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a strict look. Oh, look! All that look in her eyes. So uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left ringing with the keys he found. A minute had passed and the theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed from the house. It was stored in an incredibly worn-out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do you fix a relationship? Just get some Gorilla Glue and smack that baby together and go like, there you go. Fix relationship? No diva. Mom entered the living room, and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Ollie had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped to take her mind off all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. Oh my god. And then Alia said that she saw the giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of these ridiculous fears. Alia refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I wasn't sure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? Just last night, I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect in my new school. There were a couple days left before the beginning of the new term. My imagination drew long, twisting hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures cut out using a template. Oh my gosh, can you stop with the freaking feet, please? Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. Their cool glares filled with icy sneers made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? Stone me with their bloodied shoes? What school are you going to, my guy? It sounds like prison. The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I don't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who are just itching to smack me in the head, trip me up. Think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider, or some sort of monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Alia begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagine Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You got the wrong number." Or, "Anton is not around." Anton is not around. I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who will ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pest by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with the TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though, I can hardly call it new, was completely different. It was as silent and easy, going during the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners on the closet cobwebs and under the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my diseased family, with their ashen eyes, were hanging on the walls in place of my drawing. The floor was squeaking, rusty, drains were moaning. The attic was occupied by noisy drafts. One could think the house was performing on some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized I was in fact hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Staring at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed with the sound of wind by the creaking old house and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there amidst the cold, snowy night, right? Okay. Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes, I could barely make out the dark forest of their backdrop. They jumped around, baked in the moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all floors. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. And they stood upright at times, circled around holding hands, and whipped up snow, disappearing into those shadows for a brief moment, then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly, the music had stopped. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear, pierced me at their eyes. One silhouette immediately parted from the bizarre snow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like a bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and then listened to some unwanted guests move and scrape around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest would be at my front door. I jumped into bed and covered myself with the blankets as if it could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remember the funeral, my grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that in a tin doll. Chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagined these little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Then her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside their socket. She'd be able to see her grandchildren. I was changing the spell she taught me throughout the whole procedure. And now, I was lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks and howls. I was repeating the same words. On the island of Boyan, underneath the blemished sun, in the sea-color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. There lay lard in the ashen hair, who had spawned from Devil's Lair to feast and always leave alone, God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre servants had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hangman. And then night doused me with a new portion of boiling terror. The sound scratched on my eardrums. Okay. In reality, something or someone were scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. And then... oh gosh. The doorknob twitched slightly. Then it turned halfway, once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted once more and then started clicking violently. Oh my gosh. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now, you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivore's mouth of a doorway. Tony! Oh god. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with its rusty hinges. I was trembling, and snared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gaping black hole. Tony! My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. But before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, Tony, you asleep? My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. Alia, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Alia frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Shoo, her away, Tony, please. I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Alia down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's gonna harm you. Alia sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me. But was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince, and I have the scary bird? That question took me by surprise. Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What studied me with its glowing eyes, dancing furiously under the moon? The darkness was clinging up to the window, and it couldn't be filled by Grandma's old chants. It couldn't be satisfied with a feast of lard and long ashen hair. Tony, you coming? Yes, just a moment. Oh my gosh. What was that? Am I dead? Oh, what's this? Whoa. That's why I didn't want to laugh at Alia and hurt Hal in the morning. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? Why don't anyone... Wait, oh god. Oh my gosh. We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from an silly thought that our morning guests could have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet? Under the table? Behind the curtains where Alia always hides? Tony, come here. I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. A couple policemen towered over me in the hall doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello? The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held a photograph to me. There was a ginger boy around the edge of an elementary school picture with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window? What? That's right, your windows look straight at the forest, don't they? The window? No, I hadn't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt, which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway and the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. Why do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? I mean, how do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit. It's just our little daughter misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything is alright, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with gray eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy into this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles, haha. Always engrossed in reading, those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in a police school when his family visits this summer. Wanted to help other people, just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home. Stay away from trouble. The times have changed so much. Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then. What grade are you in, Tony boy? 6th. Have you made any friends here so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Ah then. I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info. The policemen were gone along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne and the photo of a smiling boy. His face stood still before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him, just being all alone, there. For some reason, I thought of the forest swing in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do, and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it, poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove off toward the village. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off old paint from the windows. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from Black Kitty series I've read this summer. Your average boys and girls invested in all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, BAM! Solved any complicated case. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed the trail of policemen's footprints that led to the forest, but then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start an investigation of my own? Don't do that. Maybe I'll find that lost boy. Okay, so you shouldn't do that. First of all, last night you saw a bunny literally tried killing you. Um, I heard eating noises, so he probably ate your fingers or something. Um, you saw furries dancing in the wind. Like, okay, cool. And don't find that lost boy. It's probably the furries that took him. Not any hate on the furry community. Just furries. And I'll get a reward. Alia will be so happy. And not only Alia, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. They'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Alia a Tamagotchi and then getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. When does this take place? Because there's one of those old toys right there. A Tamagotchi. Isn't those? It's one of those watches with you have to feed them and a cassette player and a whole box of Kinder. Hey, that's brand advertisement there. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. I had little to no idea what was the accountant's job like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us. But nowadays, Mom and Dad barely had money to afford sweets, and Dad could always divide a simple chocolate bar between me and Alia. Sometimes I gave her my share too. No matter how much I wanted sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out, looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals, or something even worse? Even worse echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat myself? Better go pack your skull bag or play with Alia. Bye, Mom. The sound of splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. What's in here? The dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know how they smell? She hates when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself with a freshly sharpened axe. And Alia can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Bobby lives in there. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp so she would see there was nothing but cobwebs, Dad's tool, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in the closet and listen to Alia count inside. 1, 2, 3. Better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. Okay. So I'm guessing the axe will be helpful later. Is this mouse thing like lagging or something? I don't know. Alright, to kitchen. Hey, Mother. It was difficult to lie to Mom, but there was no other way for me to run away from home. Mom! Something's wrong with the TV. The picture is dim and there's orange stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. Oh, you're killing me here. So you had enough of shooting these stupid ducks now? Told you the kind of scout will go dim because of your console. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings? Please, go see for yourself. Strange. It worked fine this morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it. Mom rubbed her hands clean her apron and went to Ollie's room. Okay. What's in here? Grandma kept ice cream for me and Ollie there, but now I can only see meat bits for soup and clamped together pelmeni. I grew to hate them already. Okay, turn back. Alright, turn back. What is this? Wait, what's in? Hold on, if I open that. Wait, hold on. I need to get your hands in the closet immediately. Okay. Mom's pegtail, a family relic. My mom played with it when she was little and she gifted it to me. Aya was next to the son's succession line. The toy belonged to her now. She stood at the desk and explained as if she could show herself a fairy tale or maybe even our future. Now even my little sister was a bit too old for the old squeaky peg top. Okay. That. My parents prohibited me from taking long distance calls, but from time to time I really want to hear my old friends. Sometimes I would just pick up the phone, listen to the low hum of the zoomer, and distant crackling, imagining the wind howling in the ice leading chords. Okay. The cross had been so many people come and go to this house. It was as black as if absorbed all human sin from the long years. It was hanging on the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as a lucky charm, but she cut herself with the cross sharp corners and almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left alone in its rightful place. That's okay. Radio. Emirkam of Russia had declared a state of emergency due to adverse weather conditions. According to the weather forecast, a cyclone is moving towards the region. Expect heavy snowfall, blizzards, and snowdrift on the road. Keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. So I'm guessing this game takes place in Russia. I think the developers are from Russia. I'm not sure. The decrepit and stain-covered calendar was one of my favorite form of entertainment in a grandma's house. I remember waking up and running to the kitchen so I could tear off yesterday's leaf first thing in the morning, as if the coming day would get lost in the taiga forest without my help. One day close to New Year's, one day close to Grandma's funeral. I haven't touched this calendar for years now. Since the time they started writing dark and spooky death chants that only made me gloomy instead of funny proverbs and superstitions, to be exact. Okay. I grabbed a dusty calendar leaf with a caution and tore it off effortlessly. Sadly, the spooky description from my child were still there. 7 horses carry the log. If 7 can't carry it, bring the 8th from a ferry. They will take it away and never come back. This is the fate that the log cannot escape. I crumbled up the gray leaf and threw it into the waste bin, hoping to get rid of the anxiousness that washed over me. It was spreading inside me like an ink stain on blotting paper. Okay. There's a note. Okay, we'll start the note. Useful connections, okay. Senior Lieutenant Tikhonov Konstantin Vladimirovich. That's cool. I'll take a peep at Mom's crossword. She would get very angry when someone gave her advice to me, and Dad faked knowing the answer and being about to reveal it all the time. I smiled at the fleeting thought. Vertical 9 letters, the name of the Philistine deity that protected them from viper bites and had a nickname, the Lord of Flies. Second letter is E. Okay, is there anything else? No, okay. Nothing else in here. Oof. I opened the front gate and went to the field, carefully so Mom would see me from the window. When I crossed half of the distance toward the forest, the snow piles became as high as my knees. I remembered my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. That hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there. Distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling in the snow alongside me, and a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent. I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Alia. The time reached its limit, a one-way trip that ended in the forest piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any scream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Alia turned to stone, listening to them, but then always coming to the ringing silence. Our out apartment became a couple of days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing or spent time together, almost like all of it has a previous life. When they kissed with Alia present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day, it all changed. Something important had left her home. Something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke up and our parents were hurriedly packing up belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes who sometimes visit us in our previous home? The eyes that only saw balls of worms in the black ground and everything. And somewhere far away, a siren was going off, trying to warn us of the coming menace. I shuddered, chased away my illusions, and looked around. There were only me, this white field, and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark and conscious of the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles frozen to the ice. Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Crap. Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. It's a glove. Trying to get closer, drowning in snow. When I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted. It looked like a wounded bird along the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? Their senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of the Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. He was also always anxious, with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them from the Lost Boy? Vova! I heard a distant shout. It looked like it came from the river. Vova! As if the trees were calling out to me as someone. Vova! It sounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Vova! Oh, I don't see over there. I knew someone was looking for the Lost Boy, but still, something was unsettling about that figure. Where? Am I blind? There's a glove. That's its stillness, bent unnaturally towards the ground. Where, bro? It's blackness. Where? There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. Yeah. Bird flapped his wings loudly. Oh! A shadow slipped from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I liked to wait for just a moment, but then I turned my gaze back to look in the same place. It was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. There's a glove. My muscles were tightly sprung. My heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the minute once more. I mean, you want to be a hero, but I think you're stupid. So, you're gonna take it. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. What was that? What the? Vova! Oh god. Oh god! Dead children. It's Five Nights at Freddy's. A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo. No hope for a reply. There's a dead kid. Can I pick it up? I stepped toward the bristly trees and tried to calm my feeling. It didn't budge. I pulled harder, the branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing in my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy. Wet. I scooted without thinking, and something dark spilled out from it, forming a tiny stream between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. It's blood. Recently murdered child. Oh no! I froze in place, studying my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches invaded the silence. Yeah, get out of here. I didn't have the times before running away. Yeah, get your bubblegum dum dum. Someone's chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches closer to the distance with giant roots. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was no more voice. Probably one of the reasons it gave me strength and spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing. A hoot, a wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. From the dried up raspberry bush, from twisted pines, from under the windfall. Hurry, run! Don't look back! It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became vicious like quicksand. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from my mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my boot leg was gone. The boot slipped out from my hole and the soles were on the hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump, and from there ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. That house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and the creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed in the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I had noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already on our front yard and Mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled the door up and obediently gave way. I rolled into the hall and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as my pursuers ascended the stairs. My finger slipped off in the lock and I couldn't click it in place. Oh crap. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron doorknob, whipping it between the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing at the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. Wheezing, breath reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen, chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you never slam the door? I didn't mean to. I still glanced at the door. The smell was gone. The breath was too. There was someone in the first place? Of course. Here, mere 5 years away, from my mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it, the last bit of strength I had left my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before all those quarrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you, huh? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you now? Am I nothing to you too? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang out. Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Thanks, Mom. Thanks. I'm literally just almost died. And, you want to talk about Dad not finding his cigarettes, Mom? Like, bro, Mom, what you doing? Mom, what you doing? What you doing, Mom? Like, that doesn't make any sense, Mom, does it? Like, honestly, Mom. Mom. Why would you do that, Mom? Okay. Anyways. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? There was someone chasing me. I thought. I started as soon as I started to explain myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and sniffed my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant. She covered her mouth with her hand. Look over there, at the fence. My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again, and my pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I have heard something scratched at the door like this, just in my nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her fingers, and I've gathered all my remaining bravery to look in the kitchen window facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming snow through the icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs. Just a small pack of strays? With no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live at the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me, like a bunny. And what if they're rabid? The smile had slowly disappeared from my mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attack all of you? Mom? I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Mom, look, they're alive. Huh? What? Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. And what for? What use do I have for this? Mitten? Of course. A darkened, sticky mitten that belonged to a lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I hurried to present and disclosed my mom. Mom, look at this. Mom, look. This is Vova's mitten. That boy the police were asking about in the morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging on a tree. I can show you where. Let's call the police right away, like the officer had told us. Mom, look! You! A shadow of doubt slowly crept into my mom's contorted face. as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember the dream, but the image slipped away. Stop it this moment. Alia will go insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. And when you joke around like this? At the moment, I realized the man was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy, who cried Wolf. Oh, don't. Just stand there. Come take your pills. What? A golden-colored pill reminiscent of a dead wasp fell into my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home, and you... Wait, why does he have to take pills? Dad would have given you a good whipping for that. Come on, take it, or you won't be able to sleep at night, and you have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with a singularly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. How do you know what chlorine tastes like? Maybe it wasn't Vova's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters. And Alia's owl. Am I going mad? What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect, or my over-exerted brain didn't let the fear inside anymore. Serenity watched over me, bringing yawny indifference along with it. Anton, you done? See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? No, Mom, I was just thinking. What about, I wonder? It's just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes, as if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son, and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything alright? You had the exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a deep sigh. Fine. Bye, Mother. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the other floor. Alia was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and switched to the other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before the sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror, like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. And then I went upstairs. Jafar's and Lego's voices died down. I walked past Alia's bedroom and slipped to my own. Okay. My Triceratops figurine. I know about all sorts of dinosaurs, velociraptors, Afrovenators, what the flip? Hipposolophodonts? I remember going to the movies to see Jurassic Park back when we still lived in the city and taking pictures with the T-Rex in the hall. It turned its head and roared. It was awesome. Next year was Robotech Transformer. I love this cartoon. When a jet fire speeds up to the intro among the sounds of blaster fire, you know your next 20 minutes will surely be amazing. Oh my god. Zentradi space station is captured. Rick, get ready for battle. Okay. What is... Oh, that's... What is that? The forest doesn't look as grim during the day. And Tickle Tree Bridge is... Yeah, I want to know who the flip that is. House and forest brought sleepless in my eyes, but sometimes I would still catch myself looking at the window at the icy treetops instead of doing my homework. There's, boy, I think there's a kid in your... I think there's a kid hidden behind your curtain. I'd like to know who that is. How strange, I remember moving this curtain. Okay, good. I've dreamt of becoming an artist since Dad bought me my first comic book. Fly magazine was the coolest. I especially liked how big space-related edition with alien monsters and that funny episode about a guard, Ginderme. I started drawing all kinds of stuff since that day, and I seem to be getting pretty good at it. One of my letters even got published in Fly once. Maybe someday they'll even publish my comic. Okay, and then I think comic books last. Monster, Ghosts, UFOs. The Encyclopedia of Paranormal Phenomena from Roseanne Publishing. Rossman. I've learned about the Loch Ness Monster, Medusa Gorgon, and the Bigfoot from there. Alia is always scared of the book. She can barely handle sifting through the monsters and alien section with me, but the middle part where they start to talk about ghosts really freaked her out. I remember hunting ghosts after I'd read that book. I measured the distance between items on my table every evening and checked if they moved due to some supernatural force come to the morning. They didn't. But to be honest, what was I expecting? To meet Casper the Ghost? I'm really concerned about this kid right here. Yeah, you remember moving curtains, okay. My drawer was empty. I hid the policeman's phone number along with the mitten there. The simple action drained the last bit of strength from me. Who is that kid? I sat on the bed, and only then I noticed there was someone behind the curtains. Yes, my tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whether it was due to medication I took or the stress I underwent, the room began to contort, as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The room's corners bent and undulated. The only stable thing in the whole room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtains. Those please was stuck to my hidden visitor, just like servant of sorts. Alia? Who else was to be standing there? I stood up and licked my dried up lips. Yeah, Alia. So funny. The silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains, as if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached towards the curtains, but my heartbeat controlled by medication. The wind sang from the view of the course. For a second, I wanted to return to the bed, just lie down and watch the person behind the curtain. Knowing full they were looking back at me. They were looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled out of the hole just when I pulled up the curtains. Of course! Gotcha! I knew it was you from the beginning! A blindingly bright halo lit up above Alia's head with the setting sun as the background. My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day and sunlight poured over on her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a child woven from light. I saw everything. Oh, really? What did you hide? She was just like my mom when she was little, before she put her sad mask of tiredness and switched to a commanding tone of voice. It's nothing, just... Alia ran up to the table, her eyes round and asked, "You stole something and hid it there. Are you a thief?" What? Don't be stupid. I didn't steal anything. A clear image came to my mind of the hidden from the tree branch. What if I did steal it, after all? From the forest, from the tangled figures standing behind black trees. Alia could be selfish as ever when she wanted. Then show me. Swear that you won't tell anyone that I showed you? Alia wore a plotting smile. I swear on Mom's heart. An oath she heard in one of the movies about the pioneers we've watched. Don't say things like that. Alia nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth with an imagery key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her giant eyes. I opened the drawers and Alia learned in holding her breath. It looked like there was not just a simple mitten, but there was a sort of exotic critter. Is this someone's mitten? She said that if she couldn't understand what she saw, a certain boy lost it and got lost himself. Now, do you understand how dangerous it is for kids to wander off in the forest, right? He must be really cold out there. Will they find him? They will. The police are going house to house, showing his photo to everybody. Alia traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window. And why are they going to houses and not the forest? Are they scared? The question caught me off guard. The police aren't scared of anything. Yeah, right. I flashed to my clouded mind. Did they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold whispers of dry, icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later for me? I changed topic, as if trying to get Alia as far away from possible as a forest thicket. We may get a reward if I go and find this one myself. Off stuff like Field of Wonders. It sounds cool, right? Alia wasn't listening to me. She was piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes. Uncharacteristic for her. What if the owl got him? Nonsense, an owl won't be able to lift a human. But you know what? I was picking my words with an utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain. Stay away from the forest. I think it's, how should I put it? It's cursed or something. Just like a fairy tale? No, not like that. More like that spooky tape Mom and Dad are hiding from us. Alia shivered and stole a glance at the window. I saw you running away. Someone was chasing you. No, it's just, I was hurrying back home so Mom wouldn't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile. It was so easy to stifle her light. A gust of wind, and her small fire would be gone. You're lucky. Mom won't even let me go outside. I'm like a princess in the tower. Can't go anywhere. I'll die from boredom here. You're wrong. No one has ever died of boredom. And you have me, and your cartoons, and Mom and Dad will be good to each other soon. You know what I would wish for on my next birthday? I wish for Mom and Dad to turn to children so we could go and play together like we used to. Yeah, and if you make them as small as bugs, we could place them into a little box. Alia giggled and tugged at my sleeve. Tony, let's go watch Aladdin. Fatigue won over my desire to be with my little sister, was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy. I'm too tired. I don't want to. Come on. It's so boring alone and Mama's always busy. We can pick a cartoon you haven't seen before. I know all of our tapes by heart at this point. Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan. Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it? And so much happens after that. Let's go, let's go. Maybe a bit later. Should I tell you how it ends? Let's leave that for tomorrow. I won't tell you tomorrow. I know. Let's play hide and seek. No, Alia. Then draw me a dino. Alia, please. Draw it, draw it. Will you please leave me alone already? I blurted it out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken back. I never screamed at my little sister like that. Okay. I'm not giving this game enough voiceature, I guess. I've been talking for an hour, boys. Let's go. Let's go, epic gamers. Alia stared at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, a precursor to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happened to me? I hurried to prevent Alia from crying. Alright, you win. Let's go watch cartoons for a bit. I don't wanna. I came up to her, put my hand on her soft head. Let's go. Let's go watch Peter Pan. Boo! You'll fall asleep again. I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless. I promise I won't. And I'll draw you a full-size Triceratops later. Hooray! Triceratops? Well, close enough. Alia rubbed her eyes with a sleeve from her pajamas, and a shining smile returned to her face. I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread, and you rewind the tape. The bread is fresh, just how you like it. Alright, just be careful not to spill the milk, or you'll be yelled at again. Want to bet? I won't spill it. The tape is somewhere on the nightstand, look for it. Alia disappeared to the door and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Piggy bank. A piggy bank. Alia's saving money for a real puppy because Dad said that taking care of him would take a lot of money. Oh, that's cute. Alia has countless toys. An old teddy bear is the main attraction here. Alia doesn't sleep without it, and she digs her nose into its fur when she sleeps. Why did the bear make that noise? The scary window where Alia sees that accursed owl every night lurking in the dark. Alia keeps curtains open during the day, but as soon as twilight comes she shuts them tight so she wouldn't see the pair of hungry eyes outside. Okay, TV. The old photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. All that was left was clicking the button on the front panel. The tube warmed up, familiar white noise started dancing on the black screen. I almost reached out to turn on the VCR when the nose calmed down and the blurry image appeared for a moment. It was a dark Tega footage, just like the one outside the window. The picture split the screen in half. Something creepy resembled human features coming out of the speaker. Just a few months later, the screen was again overshadowed by noise. Did it catch some rogue signal? The local TV station only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. And only just recently I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. What if I catch this channel again? On the other hand, Alia had asked me to find the tape. want to be nice to disappoint her, but in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all of that. Search. I showed her to the shelves full of dolls and blue hippos from Kinder Surprise. I found the tape I needed to its shabby spine. Okay. I got the black rectangle from its box. Neverland! The tape inside it rustled while rewinding to the beginning. This rustle was lulling me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while I was squatting before the TV. Images swirled in my head. Me and Alia flying above the forest, tumbling with soft clouds. My little sister is laughing, but her smile becomes more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed the clouds underneath us part bearing the bristly pine tops. What are you doing? Hold on, is this a dream or something? What? I don't know. Swampy darkness slurped among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us in, Alia. You haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. I rubbed my eyes. No, come sit. Mom and Dad are arguing again. They're going through rough times. Rough times are lame. Behind the screen, Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow into the dresser. Alia was entertained by the cartoonish dog Nana. Maybe Mom and Dad will buy us a dog too? Yeah, right. I'll have my own dog in Neverland and a cat and a parrot. She's so freaking cute. Alia smeared a slice of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me. Have you lost all of your baby teeth? Obviously. Alia frowned deep in thought. Peter Pan has baby teeth. What if they won't let you go to his land with adult teeth? We'll think of something. We'll ask Dad to alter your age in the passport. Why would Dad forge documents? Alia took a bite from a sandwich and started talking with her mouth full. He will. I heard Mom say that he did that before. You'll grow ears as big as Dumbo's. Alia got worried and touched her ears. I smiled to myself. My little sister was silent now. She just devoured bread, watched the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook. As if she got sucked into the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagined myself there in a Neverland. There in a land where no one ever ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sounds of broken plates at night. It felt like I was dreaming with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality. Tony, shut the curtains, fast! Why? No one's watching you. It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes. I'm scared. I got out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtains. I did my best not to look outside toward the treetops, toward the Tega forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect from shadows of branches scraping the snow. Tony, Mom thinks I made the owl up, and Dad too thinks I'm a liar since I'm small. But the owl exists. Honestly, it does. You do believe me, right? But it comes every night, and I swiftly grabbed Alia's hand and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination. But did I really have those qualities? Yes, I believe you, alright? Just don't nag our parents about it anymore. They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at me. You. Come, and tell me if there's anything happens. And don't look out the window. But it wants me to look. Doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist. It never existed. Like it's made up. Just like Mom and Dad say. It'll get tired of waiting and flying away. Oh. It was madness, but before everything that's happened recently, I was more and more inclined to believe that Ollie's owl existed. We followed Peter Pan's adventures as if nothing had happened, as if the forest didn't kidnap kids, as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from a crocodile, and Captain Pan was headed to London on a glided sailboat. I saw a miracle. I lasted longer than my little sister. Alia's eyelids had dropped. She started snoring lightly, resting her chin on the side of her bed. I stood up and left Alia's room. I was looking out the window, studying the field, when Mom peeked into my room. Enough playing around. It's your first day at school tomorrow. Go to bed. You should be sleeping properly. You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? Adults think everything is so simple, as if sound sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. I covered myself with a blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming to something invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's just a part of growing up, and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the fields. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled on and on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. Hey, another achievement. Thank you for completing episode 1 of Tiny Bunny. Did you enjoy it? Okay. Is that it? On continuation of the story. Okay. Well, is that actually it? Of Tiny Bunny. Bro, that was good, actually. Oh my gosh. Again. Hold on, if we load. Yeah. We'll just start a new game. Okay. New game. And then we'll go through the mitten part, and then, yeah. Yeah. Let me just get that. Skip. Fine. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Stop. Okay. Get to front yard. Anton. Oh yeah. Mother. Turn back. Front yard. This time we won't get the glove. We'll just run away. Bro, this is actually a good story. I'd like a part 2 of it. Yeah. My phone. There you go. And the mouse would get caught. Someone stepped on the ice behind me close by. My inner voice whispered, "Save yourself! Run!" My nerves got the better of me. I ran, burying my head in my shoulders. Someone was chasing me from the darkness. Oh yeah, so okay. Yeah, okay, this is just all the same stuff. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, yeah, yes. The fence, look at the fence. Okay, yeah, just dogs. Stupid strays. Come here, boy. Okay, pills. Okay. Oh, I got run for your life. There we go. There's that one. Okay. So, gosh, she's just so cute. I would love a part 2 of this. This is actually pretty good. Okay. I would love to draw her in a picture. She's just so freaking adorable. Ty Sherrick pops. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Search. Bro, what if like another movie than Peter Pan? Gosh, this is just really good. Those qualities, parents, window. Okay. We follow his room. And then sleepy, right? No, simple. Yes or no. Okay. Okay. So we just went through the whole game again. Cursed tape. We record the report footage. So like there again. Hold on. Okay. I should probably turn that down.
Is.
Yeah, no. But above the TV is a flipping thing that I should have noticed. Cause you know what? Whatever. New game. Oh, this game is so good though. I would recommend this. Yada yada hide. We just gotta get through to that part. Open. Yada 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 yada. Yeah, there's. Okay. Kitchen. Yeah. Front yard. So this time we're not gonna get the mitten again. Skip. Skip. Run away. Okay. Turn on. Whoa, buddy. Okay, so they're set. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. That is not what I meant to do. Picture finally cleared up. But in the moment I rejoiced to find that weird signal again, the TV started coughing, a voice barely coming through the cup. He was often seen at the moment when small snowy hills were lined up in the screen, pierced through rickety crosses, and a male voice was narrating with a slow, mournful voice. It was a pitch black night at the cemetery. And that faithful night, fateful dark time, little Sinya met her fate at the faithful monstrous thicket dweller. The locals call him none other than the Forest Master. I froze, and did my best not to move, as if by doing that I could scare away the narrator. I listened closely to his every word. The best dealt with the helpless girl in a masterful manner. The camera panned across the snow with something black spilled over it, looking for ragged pieces of cloth that were thrown around all over the place. I didn't want to think whether Senya's remains were wrapped in there, so I shut my eyes without thinking. The voice continued. Wolves are rare guests in these parts. Here's that Tamara, the old woman that lives in a nearby crypt, had to say. A close-up shot to the face of an old homeless woman, weary from life and alcohol abuse, rattled on the screen. Yes, such a fearsome beastie it is, worse than the rising dead. The old woman splattered saliva all over the rectangular mic. Oh, that's bunny. And the stink. It's like the rest of her comparison was swallowed up by the sound of a horn. I've never felt anything like that. It was just staying there, yes, right where you stand, boyo, and pierced with its eyes right in the middle of the day. It was so huge, that one, with glassy eyes. Obscenities were covered by another beat. You know, they say if this demon lays its eyes on you, it'll snatch you, put you into its back, and you're done. But he won't touch me. Likes me, it seems. So they even call me the Devil's Wench. And it's definitely true. The carnivorous monster will not touch those who fell to the level of forest beast, going for the innocent child's blood instead. The forest master's presence is felt more and more to the outskirts of our country. Torn between believing in what was said and shrugging it away, I decided to record the remaining part of the documentary for some reason. I quickly read the tape when it was on top of the TV, without even looking at the cover. Press record, turn the sound up, and finish the sleeping signal. And it's not called the Forest Masters for nothing. All these animals are bait. The hairy or feathery, they're all precursors for its appearance. If you hear howls in the distance, then it most likely already knows where you live. If you find animal prints all over your doorstep and birds watching from the trees, you'd better hide. It's already coming for you. And if you wake up at the night seeing a pair of eyes in your window, then soon, 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 soon. Hey, that's funny. Oh, that's a bunny. That's a bunny. That's a bunny. TV suddenly went mad and looped the last word over and over, piercing my ears. Hey, that's funny. I got goosebumps all over my spine. The tape ended and was rewinding to the beginning. The sound of a rustling tape reminded me of leaves in the wind and the low howl of the beast. I woke up from my stupor and pressed the button. VCR ejected the tape for a moment. I thought it was a stain with saliva. But that was just the light from the chandelier making the black. I think he recorded over Peter Pan. And then I saw the cover. Oops, I recorded it over Peter Pan. Exactly. That's what I get for hurrying. It was bad enough that I ruined Olivia's cartoon, but I also put this creepy stuff over it. I can't let her see this. She will drown in tears. I suddenly glanced at the door. I could hear the clatter of glass and the squeaky floorboards when I appeared in the doorway. You haven't started without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with the unnamed cupboard and a whole can of No. I was looking for the tape. Do you really want to watch Peter Pan? I do. Turn it on already. Mom will come watch with her Brazilian drama soon. Come on, think fake detective. You know, I didn't like Peter Pan. Maybe we should watch Little Mermaid instead. I've already seen it so many times. And you promised me. She's so stubborn. I know. Let's watch a couple Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episodes first. Deal? Alia frowned, but ultimately gave up. She put down the tray and crossed her hands on her chest. If you want it so much, can you open the milk can? I'm afraid I'll cut myself with sharp edges. So as I stood up, a colorful dots popped up before my eyes, and my sore legs were pierced by thousands of needles. Only when I reached the sofa I realized that the can was already open. Alia had tricked me, playing me for a fool. My stomach became heavy. I wanted to rush toward the TV, but my little sister was faster. She picked the remote and proclaimed the victorious tone. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha! As remote's master, I command you to watch Peter Pan. Uh-oh. I'm even my other VCR had already eaten the cursed tape. She'll play it, and then black crosses and unnamed graves, empty crypts, bloody scraps in the snow, an insane devil's wench. I better tell the truth. Alia, stop. I erased the end of your tape by accident. I'll trade it with you for 2 of mine. What do you mean? You couldn't erase it. Me and Dad had broken off all the plastic pins with screwdrivers. You can't record anything over my cartoons now. My little sister pressed the triangle play button on the remote. I squeezed my inside, waiting to the out-of-this-world voice from the narrator. But I saw the duel between Peter Pan and Captain Hook instead. I sighed in relief. My head, heavy as a leaden ball, now rested on my hands. Alia smiled in joy. She put the tape on rewind and started spreading milk over the bread. And when the cartoon started, she forgot about everything in the world. If she really got transported to Neverland like she always wished. To be honest, I also imagined myself there in a land where no one ages, no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sounds of broken plates at night. But now, Peter Pan's land was especially far away from me. My thoughts dragged on, stumbled on by the horrid beast that awaited me among the trees, and the neighbor's mournful voice haunted me, sliding over bushes and ravines, like a winged carnival would track open its prey. It felt like I was dreaming with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality. So I shut the... I was watching you, yeah, I'm scared. Yeah, that's closed. Yeah, you did that too. Honestly. Gosh, she's just so cute, bro. Oh, wait, crap. I looked toward Alia. She smacked her lips in her sleep. I squeezed the remote with all my might, ready to press stop at any moment. I rewound the recording, checked if it was intact, and then carefully took out the tape. The protective pin was still in place. I stood up and left Alia's room. Whether it was by providence or by curse, I hit the tape in the exact moment Mom peeked into my room. There's all achievements. Enough playing around. Should sleep properly. You don't want to be teased for... I was thinking, yeah. Also, did you know? Do you want to know what happens next? We're already working. Okay, so there's a Steam. There's all that stuff. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to follow my other streams. Make sure to go subscribe to me on YouTube. This will be uploaded on YouTube, so and yeah, I will see y'all next time. Bye.